Welcome to Frogtown Brewery. We're here at 2931 Gilroy Street. Hopefully some of you have come and checked us out in the past. I know we've been a part of, I think, 3 of the art walks. The funny story, the very first day that this business was open was the day of our first art walk. And also the first time that I've ever poured beer at a bar. And so it was a really interesting day because we had more people than anyone expected. It was incredible. It was really cool to be a part of. So we're always happy to be a part of something that is so close to the community like the Frogtown Art Walk. We've been in business for about 4 years. And in this kind of strange time, we're here coming up on another anniversary in October. And usually we would have a really big party and we'd close the street down and we'd have everybody out. But, the times are strange. So this will be, one of these things like we may have to do something just like what the Art Walk is doing where we're all virtual, which is fine. At least we can all have beers and enjoy beers together. So we ended up in Frogtown after a lot of searching that my wife and I did to try and find a place to live. We really fell in love with Frogtown in this area, and when we were looking to start this business, this was one of the first places that we looked at. Luckily, we all know a really great realtor who you'll meet here shortly. So we found this location, and we thought that the history of the area was so cool that it would be an honor for us to use their name as the brewery, and that's what we did. And luckily, the neighborhood has been incredible in their support in coming out, and we have so many people that used to be able to sit at our bars and enjoy a story across the bar top with us. But we're very grateful for the community that we're a part of, and the community that we are trying to help develop, and especially with bringing in people from the outside. The Art Walk really inspired us to take our walls and turn them into a gallery space for local artists. And as I said, it's one of the first days that we opened in conjunction with that Art Walk, and it was really eye-opening the amount of people that were just so passionate about local artists and local artisans, and they all came out, to support. And we thought that was a really cool vibe. So we went ahead and continued it, and had 100 artists on our walls. Every couple months we would rotate through, and that was really cool and really nice to be able to contribute to the community in that way. So one of the really cool things we were able to be a part of was when this whole thing started, there was a major shortage on hand sanitizer, and we reached out to one of our friends, and we were able to collaborate to help out a little bit for some local medical locations. So I'll hand it over to Adam, and he'll explain to you exactly what we did there.
How's it going? I'm Adam at Frogtown Brewery. I'm the head brewer here, and making the hand sanitizer was something that was really important for us to do. So that was a new thing. We've never done something like that before. But as Mike mentioned, we teamed up with a local distillery called Dead of Night. Aaron, the head distiller over there, reached out to us, and we were working on a collaboration before this pandemic happened. And we were trying to work on collaborating something other than hand sanitizer at that time. And we were kind of getting all that stuff in the works. And then this pandemic hit, and Aaron reached out to us, and we just figured we could help out and make some hand sanitizer. So we didn't understand that our first collaboration might be hand sanitizer, but it was, and it worked out really well. So we made all of the raw product, and then we transferred that over to his facility where he distilled it down into alcohol to turn into hand sanitizer. He did all the final processing for that, and then also worked to donate a large portion of that. In fact, the first 2 batches that we made were all donated to local hospitals. I think USC got around 50 gallons or so of hand sanitizer that we hand delivered to the ED. That's how in need they were at the time. So we were just really thankful that we were able to help out the community in that way and provide that the support back. We also were able to get some small quantities of that and sell it through our tasting room. So that supported making future batches. So thank you for everyone who supported us by buying that hand sanitizer at that time. We still have some available, so it's come and get it if you can't find any. So.
Hey everyone, this is Gustavo Rojas, one of the partners here at Frogtown Brewery. Thank you for joining us at the Frogtown Art Walk. Again, we've been with the organization and the event for about 4 years now. As Mike alluded to earlier, we've been part of it from the very beginning of our inception here in the neighborhood. And part of our growth continues to be with the association and the neighborhood. And our last step, or latest step, is opening up what will be a beer garden in the near future. That's where we are now. The space, we're still building it out, but that space should be, or this space should be very comfortable for folks to come off the LA River, join us for a pint and a bite to eat, and just enjoy the day outdoors. And especially in the current events, it's important to have some outdoor space and be socially distant and safe. So looking forward to seeing you all here, and let's go inside and we'll go into some details about how we make the beer.
All right, welcome to Frogtown Brewery's brew house. So this is where all of the magic happens at Frogtown Brewery. So we are up on our brew deck right now. Standing behind me are 4 tanks. So let me walk you through them really quick. So on my left-hand side, it's called the hot liquor tank. That's where we heat up all the water that we're going to be brewing the beer with for the day. Once that hot water is hot, we bring it over and put it in this tank. We mill all of our grain. It comes across through this auger and then drops down in this tank, mixes with the hot water, and we start the mash process. This is our mash tun. So the beer will be in here for approximately 60 minutes or so, depending on what we're making. And at that time, it's actually not called beer yet. It's called wort still. So what we'll do with this wort is we'll drain it off of here. There's a fine filter in the bottom of this tank. And we'll filter that beer or wort over into this tank. And this is our boil kettle. So the boil kettle is where we're going to bring all that wort up to a boil and add in the hops. So the hops give that beer that bitterness and the flavor, the aroma, all of those citrus notes that you taste in IPAs, those all come from the hops. Once we're done boiling, we'll transfer it into the 4th and final tank over there. And that's our whirlpool. So in there, we'll spin the beer around very rapidly. All of the sediment will collect to the bottom. We'll add additional hops in there for aroma if the recipe calls for it. Once it's done, we'll then transfer it to one of these tanks, passing through our plate chiller. So we'll bring that boiling liquid through our plate chiller, and it comes out around 65, 68 degrees. And we'll transfer it over here to one of our fermentation tanks. The fermentation tanks are where we add the last step to add the yeast. And so we'll ferment it in there for anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the recipe. Once it's done in those tanks, we'll chill it down with our glycol system down to 34 degrees or so, and move it over into our bright tank, which is a tank right behind these. And that bright tank is where we add all the carbonation to the beer. And so the carbonation is where we get that bubbly flavor in the beer, otherwise it would taste flat and kind of stale. So we carbonate the beer in the bright tank. Once it's fully carbonated after a day or two, we then will package it out either into cans, kegs, or right on draft into serving it through our tasting room here at the brewery. Hopefully we'll all be allowed to do that again soon. And so there, it comes out, and you can pick it up at any of your local stores. You can do cans to go from here, or draft from here once we're allowed to do so. So looking forward to sharing a beer with all of you very soon.
Thanks for visiting us at Frogtown Brewery. Hopefully you stop by for a beer. And if you do, go ahead and mention Frogtown Art Walk and we'll give you 15% off anything you purchase.
Thanks.
Cheers.